next time they shine your light in the sky, don't go to it. The bat is dead. Bury it. Consider this mercy.
Tell me. Do you bleed? You will.
And welcome to another uh, watch along. And this is an anime feature. Batman Year One, originally done by Frank Miller and David Mazzucchelli. So let's see how the chat is doing. Sin Havoc is in the house. The masterpiece that is this JL. 2024 is the year of announcement reveals. Rebel Moon is awesome. We're waiting for part two of Rebel Moon in April, plus the the extended cuts, the director cut. Hello Havoc, yes, and let's check your players. You can access actually Batman Year One in most streaming services, but for authenticity, use HBO Max or in Asia HBO Go, and let's make sure that we're in zero counters. Let's start this show in five, four, three, two, and one. Warner Premiere, Rebel Moon Part 2 in April. Can't wait. Yes, Havoc. Yes, Sin. Can't wait for that. It's sell or nothing. That's the most awesome news I'll be hearing once Netflix announces Zis JL2, Zis JL3, and of course, the continuation of the Snyderverse. So the voice of Commissioner Gordon in in this anime is Brian Cranston. Ben McKenzie is Bruce Wayne Batman, the same guy who plays Gordon in Fox's Gotham series. So the basic frame of this movie is taken from those pages done beautifully by David Mazzucchelli. And after all these years, uh, Batman Year One is still the definitive origin of Batman post Crisis on Infinite Earths. This is actually this part is from issue number one from part one from the comic book. This is the 12th film released under DC Universe animated original movies in the DVD, Blu-ray, and digital copy. In the comics, David Mazzucchelli drew Bruce Wayne as Gregory Peck, a young Gregory Peck. Frank Miller was influential, of course, with the origin of Batman. Sin said Batman Year One is better than the Batman 2022 with Robert Pattinson. It's of course the material, since Christopher Nolan also used Batman Year One as a sort of template for Batman Begins. Nice. This is nice. We've got Alfred, which is played by Jeff Bennett. The frame for the movie is very similar to the panels done in the comic book. Now, Detective Flash, uh, Arnold John Flash, is played by uh, animation voice actor Fred Tatasciore. Uh, he also played the nephew of the Roman Falcone, Carmine Falcone. This movie is more R rated than PG-13 actually, but it's really based on Frank Miller's story. I love how they make this actually year one from January to December of the actual year one. Now, the Gotham police force, especially the ones controlled by Commissioner Loeb, was is the most corrupt uh, set of cops Gotham ever produced. I streamed earlier today because I have to go somewhere later in the afternoon, so my time. So this is my early bird stream. Welcome 2024. Batman Year One was my second TPB edition of when I started collecting. When I started recollecting comics when I had my first job. The corruption of the GCPD is so deep that it started from the higher ups down to the uh, lower positions. This part from timestamp is wait, timestamp is 8 minute 9 minutes in. Wasn't Jay Oliva connected with Batman Year One? Let's check it out. Mm, seems Jay Oliva wasn't connected with Batman Year One. So this is the part where Bruce is being picked up by a prostitute, and we see Selina Kyle, the revised version of Selina Kyle during the 80s. She she's a prostitute. Unlike the Batman by Matt Reeves, Batman Year One really portrayed Selina Kyle as a prostitute, and the cop shot the disguised Bruce Wayne. Of course, since this is Batman Year One, this is Batman going up against the police that the later version, that the earlier versions of Batman doesn't do, and this version, the post COEI COIE version, post COIE Crisis on Infinite Earths version is a more realistic take uh, on Batman. The the earlier versions, that is, the ones that appear in, of course, Batman Year One and the Legends of the Dark Knight. Timestamp is 14 minutes, 17 seconds. This is the part where Commissioner, uh, Lieutenant Jim Gordon, ambush Detective Flash and taught him a lesson to lay off him. This is how you survive the Gotham PD, Gotham City. You have to be tough, up, tough as snails. In the comic book, Flash has Green Beret training. Uh, this was the first time that people wanted to have Bryan Cranston as Commissioner Gordon. Seems my player, my internet connection is really wonky again. So let's try this. Man, year one. 16 minutes and 7 seconds is the timestamp. This is the time that Gordon is beating up Flask. This animated movie should have been called The Jim Gordon Files. Yeah, it featured Jim Gordon prominently against Batman, compared with Batman Year One by Christopher Nolan. Brian, Cran- Brian Cranston has been looked at for potential characters for years. He said he wanted to play Mr. Sinister of the X Men X Factor. Frank Miller is fond of making the origin of Batman apparent as the Waynes comes out of the theater or movie house where Joe Chill kills them, kills the Waynes. This scene was also included in Batman: The Dark Knight Returns Part One, which I will stream one of these days. The Dark Knight Returns Part One and Two, and this is the part in comics where Part One ended, and I shall become a bat is the standard time for this end of issue one if I was reading comics. Now it's April 4. There's a hostage situation. Uh, Frank Miller portrays cops as similar to the Gestapo. This early, uh, the modern versions of the Arkham inmates are a bunch of real lunatics uh, that the asylum let go, probably because of lack of funding. So Gordon is a media baby. The press loves him. And of course, Mrs. Gordon, uh, Barbara Gordon Sr., is pregnant here in this animation slash comic book movie. Jim Gordon's kind of reluctant to, and we see the shadow of the bat. April 9, and timestamp 22 minutes 42 seconds. So we still have Merkel here. Merkel is a character that Frank Miller invented, created, and he used Merkel in The Dark Knight Returns and Batman Year One, sort of like mm, Chip O'Hara. This is the first time Batman donned his costume, and he had a hard time kicking the butt of three goons, amateur goons. So this is the first time we see Detective Sarah Essen, the future Mrs. Gordon, before someone killed her off in the comics. They see the criminals see Batman as a creature of the night. Flash has a neck brace. Flash is getting his payola. Carmine Falcone is in this movie too. Yes, Carmine Falcone or Carmine Falcone is of course a Frank Miller creation and specifically made for this miniseries back then in the 80s. Now this is one of those awesome scenes or parts of the movie where Batman uh, invades the dinner of the mobster. You know what that means? Beg like a dog. Yep, this is awesome. Although they killed off Carmine Falcone in Batman: The Long Halloween, but this is the first time he appeared in Batman Year One. I wonder how Batman can carry a floodlight in his utility belt. Timestamp is 26 minutes and 33 seconds. Of course, Flash is in the movie too. Christopher Nolan used Flash in Batman Begins. Yes, nice. This is The Long Halloween is a great Batman story. Yes, and they made it into a two-part animation for the Tomorrowverse. So they're doing a sting operation for Batman. Gordon's wasting manpower in order to flush out the bat. This is the part where Batman took the Romans Rolls Royce and piggy tied the Roman Carmine in Falcone like a pig. This is the first appearance for the post-crisis of Infinite Earth's Harvey Dent. Timestamp is of course 29 minutes and 15 seconds for Batman Year One. So during this time, Harvey Dent is of course talking with the Batman and probably coordinating some stuff. So Gordon suspects Harvey Dent as Batman, but you know, so this turns out to be all about money. Well, this is the part where Jim and Sarah Essen almost had an accident with a runaway van. And also, this is the time that Batman and the two police officers, Sarah Essen and Jim Gordon, had a drop on him. So this is the time when the cops cornered Batman in a derelict building. Batman isn't wearing Kevlar gear here, so this is based on the comics. He's just wearing spandex, and he got shot in the leg. So the SWAT team has been called up. This is overkill, just like what essentially cops do in urban areas. And Batman lost his utility belt since the gears, the explosive devices, the termites, all caught fire. It's like a 4th of July or a New Year celebration here that everything is blowing up. Yeah, and here comes the SWAT team. This is, of course, the first scenes in the comic book version, part three on the comic book version of Batman Year One, and when Brenda's SWAT team cornered Batman. The lots of onlookers during this uh, siege. Without his belt, he has only a blowgun three darts, and a sonic device to draw all the bats in the bat cave. These cops are shooting wild. They're shooting at the crowd just to get to Batman. Brendan abandoned his men in the basement, and Batman threw Brendan on in the wall, and the crowd cheered. Then the bats came. This was adapted by Christopher Nolan in Batman Begins, actually, when he called on the bats. The difference between Frank Miller's Batman Year One and, of course, the later Dark Knight, the later Uber Back by Grant Morrison is that, well, Batman is unbeatable. I wish they did Batman Year Two, the animated version. It would be just awesome to continue that storyline from Mike W. Barr. And bye bye cops. Enjoy the swim. Timestamp is 39 minutes and 45 seconds. Alfred, of course, is covering up for Bruce. So this is where they started the affair between Sarah Essen and Jim Gordon during the time he was married. So how do you see Frank Miller's writing of the Batman? Honestly, I miss him. I miss the early versions. Although he got carried away with the Dark Knight Returns sequels. Well, so we find out that Jim Gordon transferred to Gotham because he was used by internal affairs because he was an honest cop. And yes, Jim and Sarah dripping in the rain, Kissing. All right, when Selena Kyle is now Catwoman. So what the hell are you doing, Jim? You're making flutesy with Sarah. Frank Miller did some great work with the Batman character. Yes, although his last one, uh, the All Star Batman and Robin, was I don't know. Did it flop? Did it not sell well? Uh, this is the time when yes, flop. All Star Batman and Robin flop. Although I think The Dark Knight Returns, The Golden Child was more well received, only because the artist was different, right? It was not Frank Miller who drew the comic. Timestamp is 44 minutes and 7 seconds. This scene is Batman scaling the building with his bare hands, and of course, he did it with in Sin City. I think the Batman's methods isn't really effective since all his villains are still uh, his rogue galleries are still either in Arkham or out. This is the time Arnold Flash was implicated in the drug operation of Skeever. That's something out of the page of Shaft. And this is the time that Commissioner Loeb blackmails Jim. The walls have eyes. The Wolves Have Ears in Gotham City PD. So so they named Frank Miller named Mrs. Gordon as Barbara. And what happens then with the Barbara Gordon of the Batman comics? They made her in post crisis DC universe as an adopted daughter, or is it still that? I can't. DC always changes and ships their character origins every every 5 years. I mean, that this is Bruce acting as a playboy. Yes, Commissioner Loeb was a jackass. He appeared in Batman Begins, right? Uh, well, he appeared in Batman Begins in the Dark Knight. Yes, uh, Commissioner Loeb. Christopher Nolan knows his Batman mythos. This is full of corruption. Gotham is full of corruption, blackmail. It's a mess. They poisoned Skeever in prison, and you know what happens? He sang like a canary. This is how influential Frank Miller is in the Batman comics. This is when the Roman Carmine Falcone got his face scratched. Johnny Vitti also appeared in Batman: The Long Halloween and the Jeff Loeb written Long Halloween uh, was sort of complement year one. This is the first time Batman and Catwoman met. The they really made Alfred characters here as better than the previous portrayals. Timestamp is 53 minutes, 50 seconds. So Jim Gordon has a son named Jim uh, Junior, James Junior. During the Bronze Age, uh, Gordon had a son also named Tony Gordon, the brother of course, Barbara Gordon. But in the new post-crisis universe, they made Gordon has James Gordon Jr. as an only child. Jim just realized something is amiss. The setup was for Jim to return to the police HQ and the mob, the Falcone mob, kidnap his baby. This is the start of when Jim Gordon and his wife's relationship became estranged. They blackened Bruce's face so that Mrs. Gordon won't recognize him at all. This is a different version, a different take on this part. Whereas the comic, he used a bike to chase Johnny Vitti. This is Bruce just running off buildings and ju- in chasing the mobsters. Of course, this is Dawn. Batman runs faster than the cars, sort of like a really extreme athlete. This is a struggle between Gordon and Johnny Vitti. And the baby fell. Batman and Bruce saves little Gordon. That high, they fell in mud, so maybe that stopped. So Batman, as Bruce Wayne, saves Jim Gordon's family. Brandon became the sacrificial lamb. So this part is adapted also in the ending of Batman Year One, uh, Batman Begins, and that's it, man. This was a great cartoon. Negligent parent. Yeah, Batman Year One, starring Bryan Cranston, Ben McKenzie, Eliza Dushku, John Polito, Alec Rocco, Katie Shakoff. Okay, Gordon failed Gotham City. Yeah, yeah, he did. Fun stream, everyone. Thanks to no one is innocent. Sin. I miss Mikey. So that's it for today, and Of course, do subscribe to my channel and share this video. Subscribe also to my other social networks account. And yes, hashtag Mikeyverse forever. Later, Sin. Adios. So, thank you for being here. And wait, that's it for today. Adios. Bye, guys.
killing people. They look alive to me.
Because I saved them.
Well, that's why I waited until you were there. I got the information I needed. No one died. I did it your way.
He does have a point. I know it got lost in all the confusion, but we still have some issues to settle here. There are only heroes and there are villains.
You think yourself a hero, but you would let these criminals go free.
Heroes don't kill people.
Well, I do.